Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about crushing procrastination in writing, maybe in programming or whatever it is you're doing. Today we're going to be talking about Emacs and Git, two free software programs that work nicely together. Specifically, I'm talking about writing. And one of the ways we measure productivity in writing is with having a daily word count goal. This helps because, for example, let's say you want to write a novel or some kind of writing project, maybe a memoir or something. It's a big job and you might be overwhelmed, so you might procrastinate. It helps to have a daily achievable goal to get you started, and then after a while, you're going to have something you can iterate on and work with. So this is why writers like to have daily word goals where they might say, do 500 to 1,000 words a day. And that's good for a few reasons, as I listed here in my blog post, which I'll link to below. It's a simple system. It's easy to understand. Most programs will measure your word count. Emacs has a good word count goal mode where it'll count how many words you have total and then how much you've done since you started the counter. And the most important thing I find is that having simple goals like this is that it signals a stopping time so that you don't burn yourself out too fast, because you might be excited and like you want to rush to the finish. And I do that a lot because let's say I'm working on something, I want to get it done so I can, get to the fun part of iterating on it. And it's not good because, you can kind of burn out, you can kind of crash. And also your quality starts to degrade if you're spending too much time at once on something because you've got limited resources. So having these sorts of simple metrics can tell you, okay, you've done what you set out to do, stop for now, take a break, rest, come back tomorrow. But there's a problem with straight word counts, which is if you're someone like me who is constantly editing, like I don't really start writing until I've reread what I've done and I might make some tweaks to it. There are some writers who caution against that. That's just the only way that really works for me. I like just constantly rereading it and tweaking it and editing it because it's like an idea that I'm working on and I'm playing with it. So for me, having a word count doesn't really work because I'm deleting a lot of stuff. So what I wanted was something that counts changes rather than just words. And Git does this. Git counts the differences in your document since the last time you committed it or committed a version of it. So I wanted to see if I could harness that and get it into a counter so that whether I'm adding words or deleting them, the counter is going to go up. And I was able to do this by using Git, having a repository going. So basically, I would commit the changes when I'm done working and then come in the next day or whatever, and you'll see here I've got a picture of it. This is your counter right here. It puts it in the mode line, so you'll see it says WD, that stands for word diff, and it counts it up. So I have the source code in here. Of course, I'll preface by saying I'm not a programmer, so I had help with a language model to develop this. So it's kind of like it's like a working model. It actually does what it needs to do. But of course, for that reason, I was hesitant to put it up here, but I put it up in case other users want to look at it and try it and maybe suggest improvements. And just let's actually demonstrate it in Emacs. Of course, like I like to do, bring in some text here. These are the first two paragraphs of the Call of Cthulhu classic story. So all we need to do to get this to work are a few things. Well, first we have to initialize a Git repository here. So let's track this file. And I'm using Magit, of course, in Emacs, but you can use command line Git. It should do the same thing. As you can see in the code, all this is doing is it's using this bash script up here to actually count the word diffs, how many things were added and how many were deleted, and then it pipes those to a word count function here, and then it outputs it into Emacs, into my mode line. That's basically what it's doing. So now we have a commit of this initial text. So now when I run the function toggle word diff mode, See, I've got my WD counter down here, as you can see if I zoom in. So we're at 0 right now, which is expected. So now as we start making changes, it should start counting it up. So let's say I add 5 words. I'm still figuring out how it does the counting, but let's say I am adding 5 words. Now if I save that, okay, it worked exactly as expected. I've got a word diff of 5 here. Now if I delete one word, it should be 4, right? Yeah, that's right. Now if I put, see, I'm playing with it here because sometimes it counts, if you delete a certain word, sometimes it counts it once, sometimes it counts it twice. So I'm still working out the little eccentricities of it, but so far it's pretty accurate. So let's say if I delete this whole first sentence here, it just went up 25. So you see, it's counting what I'm doing. And of course, bear in mind that just because you're tweaking a document and you're counting how many times you're adding and deleting things, this metric is not indicating that you're really improving it. Of course, that's not what it's supposed to do. It's just supposed to tell you a rough estimate of how much you've been working. So it's not necessarily an indicator that you're making good changes. It's just saying that, hey, by the time you've changed maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500 sentences or words or added words, you can decide if that's a point where you want to stop or that's good enough. This gives you at least a metric to work from where you can see, okay, I've got some time today. I'd like to make at least 500 changes. So it's showing you that you're doing something. But of course, whether it's actually improving, that's not what it's meant to tell you. But to be clear, also, word counts don't really tell you that you're doing anything. It just tells you how many you've added. So again, take it for what it is. It's a reference of your productivity. So here, if I delete one word, I added 5 words, so my number is at 5. So let's say I delete the word right here, the word merciful. So that's 6 changes. Yes, that's correct. Okay, because we deleted one word. Now if I replace the word, let's say it's the most great thing in the world. So now it counted up to 7. So it counted when I deleted the word, and then it counted when I added a new word, which is what we want. So this is actually very accurate. It's doing everything we need it to do. And then if I undo those changes, it goes back to 5. So yeah, I haven't really found an instance where it was counting something inaccurately or counting certain edits too much. But yeah, if anyone wants to try it and keep an eye on it and let me know if there's anything in there that you're finding is inaccurate or not giving you what you expect, then definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, as I said, I put the code in there in case anyone wants to take a look at it and try it and maybe improve it. But I'm finding that for me, this is helpful. I've been playing with it for a few weeks. I'm hesitant to mention things that I'm doing if I don't feel that they might be helpful or at least food for thought for somebody who's trying to do something else. I can say that I've sat down with this for a little while and it is creating some value for me. So I like it. It's been part of my configuration. I'm going to keep using it and see if there's any better ways to iterate on it. But it is a pretty simple thing. It does what it needs to do, so I'm pretty happy with it. So I'll go ahead and leave the video there. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Feel free to leave them below. And I will see you all next time.